There are many lessons that we can learn from this book. One of them is financial literacy. The theme of this book, if I say it's financial literacy, it wouldn't be wrong. He defined assets and liabilities. In accounting, asset is defined as something that has a value. If you sell it in the market, you get money. Something that you own, like your house, your car, you own these things, right? You can sell them in the market and get money. This is called asset in accounting. Similarly, liabilities are those things that you have to pay. For example, your telephone bill is your liability. However, Robert gave it a unique definition. He said asset is something that puts money in your pocket. Asset is not just because you have a house or car, it's an asset. No. He said a house, you have to pay mortgage of your house. You have to pay property tax. You have to pay for insurance. You have to pay for maintenance. So he said, how can it be an asset? It is taking money out of your pocket. It's not giving you money back, right? So anything that puts money in your pocket, it's your asset. And anything that takes money out of your pocket is a liability. In accounting, we think that car is an asset. And we define car as an asset because we own it and it has value. But he said, when you have car, you have to pay its insurance, you have to pay for maintenance, you're financing it, you have to pay a lease. How can it be an asset? He said these are liabilities. A car becomes an asset if you are getting money out of it. For example, if you are giving it for rent, or if you are driving a taxi, Uber, TLC, whatever, and money is coming to your pocket, then it is an asset. Similarly, a house, he said, if you are renting a house and you are getting rent from your house, then it is an asset. Okay, otherwise it's a liability. How rich people become rich is that they buy assets and those assets give them money. He uses the word cash flow. Cash flow means cash flowing. It flows in and it flows out.
Yes.
Cash flow in means cash is coming to your pocket. Cash flow out means cash is going out of your pocket. So when you're paying your bills, cash is flowing out. When you get paid, cash is coming in, right? So he says that rich people work on their cash flows. They do not work for money. He said, I do not work for money. I do not work for paycheck. Rich people increase number of assets, such as they buy property, they buy stocks, bonds, and so on. He said, my wife wanted to buy a car. Instead of buying the car, we bought an asset. Listen to this. This is important. He said, we bought an asset and that asset generated cash flow. And with that cash flow, she bought a car. Although it took her 4 years, but she earned that money. See, she didn't pay anything out of pocket. What poor people or middle class do, they work, they get a paycheck, they want to spend it. So when this cash flow comes to a point where they don't have to work anymore, then they are free. He used the term rat race. Rat race, he says, is that you go to school, you get a degree, you work hard, you pay taxes, and you retire. And he says that when you get a paycheck, even if you can touch your money, government takes its share in form of taxes. We should find ways to build our asset column, okay, so that it starts generating cash flow. All right, and we should reinvest that money. Active income is when you are actively working for it. For example, you're going to job, or you're going to your business, you are actively working on it. Passive income means that you have invested in it or you have made decision and money is coming to you automatically. If money is coming to you automatically, if you have passive income, then you can live the life you want. You will not be part of rat race. You wouldn't have to go to work every day. You will be sleeping and money will be coming in. What kind of business McDonald's has?
Passive income.
Passive income.
What business is McDonald's in?
McDonald's is The same for the network marketing?
McDonald's.
Yes. Because put one, one neck and doing different business and the same business for all the restaurants.
Yeah, that is called franchising. If you go to a McDonald's, what do you buy?
Hamburgers.
Hamburgers. Many people think that McDonald's is in the business of hamburgers. Okay? And the McDonald's owner, Roy, saw some college students and he asked them the same question. He said, what kind of business am I in? And first they didn't answer the question. They thought he was kidding, right? He was making fun. Then he asked again, what kind of business am I in? And one student said, who on earth doesn't know that you are in business of hamburgers? And he smiled. He said, I knew that you would answer that. In the business of property. It is selling hamburgers, but the main business is property. Another thing that he mentioned in the book is that people mostly work for money. And he gives example. He says that when he and his friend went to work for his rich dad, he didn't want to pay them money because he wanted to teach them a lesson. Poor people and the middle class work for money. And he taught them a lesson that do not work for money. When you go out for a job, when you are working, try to learn the system, try to learn the business. What most people do is they clock in, they kill their time, they clock out, and that's it. Most of people do not learn. But he said when you go to work, then learn the work. Even if you don't get paid more, it's not important. The skills that you will learn from your job, those skills will help you for the rest of your life. Those skills are important, not the money. But you have to keep learning and keep growing.
Teacher, I have one question because
yes,
and for me it's not too young, but not too old. But I say, why don't teach me this in the school? Because nobody teaches in the school when you go to the college or the high school or for the how to make money. Only teach for going to employ and pay taxes for the government, and that's it. But not teach the people how to open the mind to do money.
Exactly.
And when and I surprised for me now. I think all the students coming, but I'm surprised because the people don't want it to learn how to make the money. I think all the line had all the life for this. No. And then you need to do something for the future, because always is not younger. You go and grow out, and one day you need some support. How for a strong for war or for doing something. That's right. You need to doing something, giving money, and you don't work. But nobody like it learn like that.
Exactly. That's what he mentions. That's what he always says. If you listen to him, this is what he's always talking about. He says schools that are not teaching this. Colleges are not teaching this. He said you can be a doctor, you understand the whole body, you know how to operate somebody, you know how to do surgery, but you don't know how to manage money. You don't know how to make money. This is true. Let me tell you, my friend, he's learning business. Okay, when I talked to him, I said, okay, once your degree is done, what are you planning to do? He said, I will look for a job. I said, what is the point of doing business if you are going to do a job? So see, this is a mindset, as you have said. This is a mind. We have to change this mindset. I'm not saying that you start business tomorrow, but the mindset has to be changed because mindset is everything. Okay, this is very important. Business may not be for everybody, but the focus that we have on jobs, if we have focus on business, we would be in better shape. When you are doing a job, you are feeding yourself or your family. When you are doing business, you are feeding others' family. The school system is creating employees.
That's it.
And not business people. This is unfortunate reality. And that's why we need this education, because if we don't know, how would we teach our kids? We like to complain about our relatives, about our cousins, about our siblings, about the government, about the policies, about the taxes, but we don't want to learn. But if we did not learn before, I can understand it. But in this age of technology, if we are still ignorant, then it's over for. Also about partnership, I wanted to say that learn to do partnerships as well, because partnership has advantages. If you need $50,000, it's difficult for you to save $50,000, especially if you are living in New York and if you don't have a very good job. But if there are people who are like-minded and they get together, they can form partnerships. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people don't like partnerships. I don't know why, because maybe they don't have the mindset again to manage the partnership. I think partnership is something wrong. Well, it depends how you look at it, but there are advantages of partnership. You can pool money and you can invest the money. Okay. And the things that you can do with partnership in 1 year, maybe you have to wait for 5 years if you want to do it yourself. For example, if you invest $10,000 and you have five partners, you have $50,000 right there. But if you have only 10,000, you have to wait for 5 years to have $50,000.
Teacher, I don't know how to say in English, but maybe you understand for the Spanish. Apalancamiento. Example. Example for the Spanish people don't know like that, but the Chinese people, and I learned for them because take five guys, buy one house, and the five pay the house, take money, save the money, and about 10 years, the five guys had the house, and and pay. But this is say, take the money, example for you, for Islam, for Sarah, and buy the house for me, and buy the house. In 4 years, everybody have one house. This is in Spanish says apalancamiento.
That is
because
perfect.
it's not use your money, but not all your money.
That is perfect.
This is help
right,
or no help?
Right. This is perfect. That's what I'm saying. This is called partnership. This is called investment.
Oh,
So,
Reisman? Oh.
right. You don't have $100,000 on your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are 10 people together. All you have to contribute is $10,000. So it's easier to save $10,000 or $100,000. If you can work together, then this is very beneficial. This is what I'm saying. Why not? You should do that with maybe with your classmates or with your cousin, with your friends. These kinds of risks you should take in life if you want to grow, if you want to do something. If you want to be very secure, then one person said once that security is in jail. You should go to jail if you want safety or security. If you want to live your life, then you have to take risks. Once you are 30, 40, then you are scared you wouldn't make mistakes, right? Because then you will be very careful, because you would have kids, you would have family, so you will be very careful. There are four types of incomes. One is E quadrant. Each box is called a quadrant. One is S. This is B and this is I. Try to move from this quadrant to this quadrant as soon as you can. And he said that is your success. E means an employee. Anybody who is going to a job, getting a paycheck is E. Pays taxes and gets money after paying taxes. Employee generally pays 40% of taxes. Self-employed is like people who drive taxis, who drive Uber, are freelancers. Even worse, because they have to pay double taxes. Businessman pays about 20% taxes. Lo and behold, he says investors pay 0% taxes. If you are in this column, no good. He said you should try to move on to this column. How do you do that? If you don't have enough money, you can always start small, because many people think that we cannot do business because we don't have enough money. Of course, you need money, but not as much as you think you do. Every business that you know today, including big businesses like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, YouTube, they started off small. We should all try to buy those assets that put value in our pocket, and we should try to grow those assets by reinvesting that money. If we have more money, we can pump in, but even if we don't have enough money, we can use that money, reinvest that money, and try to build assets so that we can get out of the rat race. And we should also teach our kids how to stay out of the rat race. That we are talking now in this session, how many times do we discuss that in families? How many times do we discuss that on our dinner table, our lunch table, our weekends, our vacations? We don't discuss these things. There was industry. You have to understand the concept. You have to know the background. When industry started, it employees. They needed labor. So the education system is creating laborers. You understand? This is the mindset we have to come out of. At most, they do is self-employed, TLC, Uber, or Lyft, or Yellow, or they are freelancers. So that's why we have to change this mindset. Once the mindset changes, then we can expect a change. I hope this was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach out to me. I thank you once again for joining this.